Tonight, the gloves are off. The bickering in the ruling party finds a new stage to play a political script, shrouded with the secrecy as the all too proverbial politics of alignment after realignment knocks again. The deputy and the head, each seemingly pulling a pole aside in a party whose survival days can be counted, or can it be? Good evening, I am Abubakar Abdullahi. This is New Week. But first, these are the stories making headlines tonight. 7 people killed in a road accident in Kisumu after a sugarcane truck rammed onto a public service vehicle at Kisiani area. 9 truck drivers test positive for COVID-19 at the Tanzania-Kenya border in Namanga, raising fears of more cross-border transmissions. Chumba Murkomen and Susan Kihika kicked out of Senate leadership roles as rift between the ruling party's leadership deepens. Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. We start on a sad note. 7 people have died and 2 others are in critical condition following greasy road accident in Kisaini area. The accident involved 4 vehicles. Daniel Dembede with the details.
This is the mangled wreck of the ill-fated public service vehicle belonging to Acacia Sacco and 2 other personal cars. 7 people have been confirmed dead and 2 others are in critical condition after this lorry rammed on the matatu and 2 other vehicles, and this happened at Kisiani along the Kisumu-Busia highway. According to the eyewitnesses, say the lorry carrying sugarcane may have lost control before the accident happened.
Hiyo gari ya Nissan ilitoka town. Sasa amepata hiyo gari hapa akapiga akaruka hivyo.
Some furious residents are said to have beat up the lorry driver before he was saved by the police. The irate mob set the truck on fire. Kisumu West Police Boss Edward Kangara confirmed the incident, saying 7 passengers who were in the matatu passed on while 2 are receiving treatment in various hospitals within Kisumu.
We can confirm that those people who are in the vehicles who were injured were rushed to the hospital. 7 have already passed on, and 2 are still being treated in the various hospitals within Kisumu West.
Daniel Dembede, TV47, Kisumu County.
Indeed, may their souls rest in eternal peace. Moving on, Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has assured Kenyans of their security, especially from police brutality. This comes days after a video circulated online showing police officers harassing a motorist. In an effort to decongest prisons, Matiang'i has said some prisoners will be relocated to Kasarani Stadium. Zablon Masharia with the details.
At least 14 police officers are under probe following cases of brutality meted on members of the public. Appearing before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Coronavirus Pandemic, CS Matiang'i assured that officers found culpable will face the full force of the law.
14 police officers are undergoing a disciplinary action because of their conduct during this COVID period. And most of that is related to allegations of brutality against, members of the public. There are cases of 2 police officers that we are, investigating where allegations have been made in case of, mishandling members of the public when they have presented information to them.
Matiang'i also said the Ministry of Interior is collaborating with the judiciary in project to decongest prisons. In addition, the court session will be held in prison facility to limit the prisoners' interaction with outsiders wild, where they can easily contract COVID-19.
We have now created a center in Kasarani. We want to take all curfew violators and curfew breakers to Kasarani.
After the government announced cessation of movement in and out of Eastleigh and Old Town Mombasa, Matiang'i has said movement within the said estate will not be banned.
Because you cannot cease movement within. When you cease movement within Old Town or within Eastleigh, essentially you're having a lockdown. And we have, as government, we have decided we are not going the lockdown way, the way of Italy or the way of the UK, because our circumstances are peculiar and they are different.
CS Matiang'i has revealed that in order to curb gender-based violence, his ministry has seconded more police officers in specific stations to handle domestic-related cases. Zablon Macharia, TV47, Nairobi.
Still on COVID-19, truck drivers are now the latest group of people to be put on the COVID-19 spotlight after 9 of them tested positive for coronavirus. The government now says it's considering closing its borders with Tanzania if cases escalate. Lydia Gashomo with the details.
For the last 24 hours, we have tested 841 samples, out of which 28 have tested positive for coronavirus. This number is distributed as follows. 10 of these cases are from Mombasa, 9 are from Kajiado, 7 from Nairobi, and 2 from Wajir. This brings to 700 the total number of those who have tested positive.
9 truck drivers from the neighboring Tanzania are among the 28 new positive cases of COVID-19 reported in the past 24 hours.
The 9 cases from Kajiado are all Kenyan truck drivers who are returning from Tanzania and tested at the Namanga border point. These 9 cases were positive among the other drivers that were tested.
The good news, though, is that 12 people have fully recovered and released from COVID-19 treatment and care centers.
On a positive note, we have discharged 12 people from hospital today. This now brings to 251 the total number of recoveries from COVID-19.
Dr. Rashid Aman says the government is exploring possibilities of closing its border with Tanzania in light of new COVID-19 cases on truck drivers. He, however, says no conclusion have been reached as yet.
So that measure will be taken. All these options are on the table being discussed on a daily basis. The triggers, once they are in place, the action will be taken. Let me allow the DG maybe to expound a little bit.
And all this, you will notice that we have not only increased the number of security teams we have put there, we have also increased the surveillance for testing, and we have created quarantine centers alongside these borders so that people who are coming in, we are quarantining them immediately, as it were, and demanding that they go to quarantine for about 14 days.
Out of the 28 recorded cases reported, 10 are from Mombasa, 9 from Kajiado, other 7 Nairobi, and 2 Wajir respectively. Globally, over 4.2 million people have tested positive for coronavirus and over 285,000 have died. Over 1.5 million others have recovered. Lydia Gashomo, TV47.
Thank you, Lydia Gashomo, for that report. To politics now. The jumble in Jubilee Party has seen 2 Senate majority leaders replaced in a well-calculated move in favor of Uhuru Kenyatta, the president, that is. Senate Majority Leader and Majority Whip Susan Kihika, both DP William Ruto allies, have been replaced following a Jubilee Senators Parliamentary Group meeting held at State House today in Nairobi. Elizabeth Mutuku tells us more.
The daggers are out. It is now apparent that the little love, if any, that was left in Uhuru Ruto has been lost in today's State House Jubilee Party's lean Senate group meeting is anything to go by. Jubilee Party leader President Uhuru Kenyatta quoted KANU, and now his deputy William Ruto's appointment in the Senate has been replaced by a KANU stalwart. Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen, the immediate former majority leader in the Senate, was replaced by West Pokot Senator Samuel Pogisio of KANU. This happens just days after KANU wrote to the registrar of political parties communicating the post-election coalition between Jubilee and KANU, a coalition that Murkomen rubbishes as imaginary.
Article 32 of the Jubilee Party Constitution provides that for you to form a coalition, there must be one, a NEC meeting to decide that a coalition should be formed with any party. For this matter, it's purported that there's a coalition with KANU. Number two, you must appoint a coalition negotiation committee. I sit in the neck with Senator Susan Kihika, and we've never met for the last 3 years. No meeting took place to pass a resolution to have a coalition agreement with the KANU party. And therefore, the purported argument that KANU would have participated within the precincts of the law, and particularly the Standing Order 19, in voting us out, or a KANU member being voted to be a leader in Jubilee, that is preposterous, that is laughable, that is the biggest joke you can have in this part of the town.
Also replaced after the Jubilee Parliamentary Group meeting on Monday is Senate Majority Whip Nakuru Senator Susan Kihika. Kihika was replaced with Murang'a Senator Irungu Kang'ata, who will be deputized by nominated Senator Faria Ali Haji. Both Murkomen and Susan Kihika say they were not invited to a parliamentary group meeting with an agenda to change the leadership of majority party in the Senate. The two also say 20 other senators were not invited to the State House meeting.
Kama wana Jubilee 22 kati ya wale ambao ni wana Jubilee 35, ya kwamba wale ambao hatukuhudhuria hiyo mkutano, ambao mkutano hatukuitwa na hatukuambiwa kuna agenda ya kutoa mtu yoyote. Sisi maseneta 22 tumeandikia spika wa seneti, tukaambia ya kwamba hatukuhudhuria mkutano wowote na hatutasupport chochote ambaye ya kuondoa watu.
But I can tell you, we were all together, the 22 who did not attend. We were all together through technology this morning. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank the 22 senators who did not give in to the intimidation that has been going on this morning. We, like you heard, right now as we speak, they have choppers roaming in Hola, in Samburu, in Marsabit, and in Kilifi, trying to bring those senators so they can sign. And that is the reason. And I challenge you, that is the reason you have not seen a list.
The two have also faulted the process of their removal from the leadership of the House and insist they are still bona fide officials of the Jubilee Party in the Senate.
We have written to the Speaker, the 22 of us have written to the Speaker to tell him in uncertain terms that we never participated in that meeting, and therefore there is no way they would be able to get the purported 20 senators, because we are not 42. We are only, at most, even if you included KANU, we are only 38. So the most they would get after the 22 is 16.
I have been elected by the people of Nakuru County. I'm now the whip in the Senate. And as I said, I serve at the pleasure of the members of Jubilee. So if they are not happy with my service, they know what to do to get me out. But what we shall not do is let some meetings done without proper quorum and then purport to have removed us when they didn't even have the numbers. So do it properly and we shall get out.
This latest move in the clearest indication that the rift between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto is now beyond repair. Both Kihika and Murkomen are staunch supporters of DP Ruto and are strong opponents of the March 9th, 2018 handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga. Lawyer and Senator Ochilo Ayako says nothing can be done to undo Monday's changes in Jubilee. Oyako opines that the party leader has power to de-whip any member of the position if they are seen to be going against the party's agenda. Even as Murkomen and Kihika term their ouster as null and void, now all eyes are on Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka to see whether they remain or not. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47, Parliament Buildings, Nairobi.
Well, the push and pull between members of the ruling party continues. It's quarter an hour past the hour. Time for us to take a short break here on New Week. We'll come back with more news after this break.
exciting world of M-Truck Solutions, your trusted provider for bulk SMSs. We also offer API integrations for all your communication and payment needs. We also provide you with tailor-made payment getaway solution to receive and disperse cash quickly, affordable and securely. Let us expand your reach and connectivity on USSD, SMS and voice today. Call us on 0723 030 030 or email hello@mtruck.limited.co.ke. For more details, visit our website www.mtrucklimited.co.ke.
For more inquiries, please email ads@tv47.co.ke or simply call us on 0748 205 604.
Welcome back to New Week. Thank you for choosing to stay with us here on TV47. Now, 5 days after the government banned movement in and out of Nairobi's Eastleigh area, business owners are now staring at huge losses, even as they condemn the government's move to curb the spread of the deadly virus. Our very own Andrin Kilemi visited the area and now reports.
This is what Nairobi's Eastleigh area looks like Monday. The once vibrant business center with giant malls now lays idle. It has turned into a ghost town with only police officers manning the entry and exit points. Residents now have no option but to adapt to their new normal.
Jioni kukonjoa ni hapo ije kwa mlango. Ni kweli. Kwa shauri ukitoa kiswa asigari diua anakonga. Kama mwingine alikonga mimi hapa mlango. Hapa siku ya kwanza mimi namwambia ngoja niende anja pale. Alikonga mimi kiboko.
Business owners and operators are the most affected. This since the cessation of movement was imposed on Wednesday last week to control the spread of coronavirus after the area was listed as a hotspot.
Tunashangaa wengine tuko masingo mothers wengi sana. Na huwa tunategemea Eastleigh kufua nguo tukilisha watoto. Na watu wakikuja kwa kijiji huwa wanachukua tu pesa wanasema ama msaada wanapatia wamama wa miaka 60 kwenda juu. Na sisi wamama wenye tuko young tunashindwa serikali imetuacha kwa njia gani.
It is a condition that has also affected the street children here. It is midday and they've put up a fire by the side of the road ready to make lunch. It is their first meal and would probably be their last for the day.
Shida yetu asubuhi tukiamkanga atukunywi chai.
Tunarogota manyama kwa mtaro, tunapika, ndio hii hadi unaweza kuona Hii ndio chakula yenye tunakula. Hii ndio keroma.
Matatu operators, more so those plying the Eastleigh route, have come out to condemn the government, saying they do not have other means to fend for their families.
Umeamka saa 9 usiku, ungangane uone vile utatoka. Kwa si una pesa ya kutoka kwa gate 100 ama 50. Na ukiingia saa zingine kuna mvua, umepigwa. Saa zingine unakatazwa kuingia kwako na unawaonyesha kwako ni kule uko na kitambulizo ya kazi ya ile sako unafanya naye. Kama ni kwa maroli, niko na ID ya maroli za takataka. Pia unaonyesha hiyo ID lazima uingie na pesa. Utaingia kama una
yetu. Kama wanataka wafungulie sisi, mtu wakwenda nyumbani aende nyumbani, akakae huku akakula madisi. Mafungue jia. Mtu akakula madisi. Ule anabaki Nairobi, abaki Nairobi.
Being one of the major business centers in the city, Eastleigh would have been as busy with traders and buyers all over the streets. Now, they can only wait for the next directive that the government will give upon lapse of the 15 days partial lockdown. Andrine Kilemi for TV47.
Thank you, Andrine Kilemi, for that report. Nonetheless, seeing who has been affected by the lockdown, from street children to business persons in Eastleigh. Of course, this is a story as well that we'll be continuing to cover for you. Moving on. Kenya Ports Authority General Manager Finance Patrick Wambugu Nyoike and a clerk Isaac Obungu have been freed on a 2 million shillings cash bail after they denied fraud charges. The two were arrested after the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission completed investigations into irregular payment amounting to 214 million shillings. Eli Logova reports.
It was a reprieve for the two KPA officials who appeared before Mombasa Chief Magistrate Edna Nyaloti to answer to charges of economic crimes to defraud Kenya Ports Authority 214 million shillings. The Director of Public Prosecutions had recommended that the suspects face charges of abuse of office, conspiracy to commit an offence of corruption, failure to disclose a private interest to his principal, and dealing with suspect property. ESCC detectives are currently searching for Nyoike's brother Alfred and the company's other director Peter Ndichu Kinyanjui to answer to charges of mismanagement of funds and abuse of office. This series of events at the KPA are happening a few months after the former managing director Daniel Manduku resigned days after being arraigned in court after being sought several times by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission of accusations of mismanagement of resources and abuse of office at the Ports Authority. Manduku's arraignment in court, however, left the DCI and DPP with an egg on face after the two collided over the charge sheet. Eli Logova, TV47, Nairobi.
Elsewhere, the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage has launched the Work for Pay 100 million shillings stimulus package, which will benefit more than 100,000 musicians, actors and artists. The fund will be distributed with the help of government agencies and departments.
With the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, the CCI sector has been critically affected due to the sudden and massive loss of revenue opportunities, especially for the more vulnerable artists. The Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund was created by His Excellency the President to provide funding to support the development and promotion of sports, of arts and social development, including universal healthcare. The persons who can access the fund for resources are classified under the following categories. 1, sports organizations. 2, professional sports persons. And 3, government implementing agency. In line with this, we expect to impact the lives of over 20,000 musicians, actors, and artists who will benefit directly from the stimulus program. I direct the heads of departments and agencies involved in implementing the program to guarantee due diligence in the selection of projects that will be upheld.
To Mombasa now, the port of Mombasa got a major boost after one of the leading global shipping lines started its operations at the port. The container ship by the name Conship Ono was received today at the port of Mombasa.
For us, a maiden call means a lot. It means it has got significant meaning in terms of having new service. Means that we are going to have more volumes. We are going to have bigger shipping line coming in as customers introducing new services. It means also that the port of Mombasa has attracted business from the shipping lines, and they have found the port of Mombasa more efficient and more attractive to enable them to increase the number of vessels that are plying and coming to call at the port of Mombasa. This vessel is called Conship Ono. She's making her first call today, and we expect to start working her at 1500 hours.
From Mombasa, it's 25 minutes past the hour. Time for us to take another short break. We'll be back after this break with more news.
Since late last year, the coronavirus COVID-19 has emerged as a serious healthcare threat. This is an infection that has gone global and no one has been spared. The government, through the Ministry of Health, has put in measures to keep Kenyans safe against COVID-19, which is currently rampant around the world, with new confirmed infections and death cases daily. Such sanitization and screening of visitors at this border post and across every entry point in the country is very vital in preventing the spread of the disease in the country.
I'm very happy about the screenings that are going on in Tanzania and Kenya. I think it's very proactive that you're thinking about stopping it at the border so that it does not spread.
It is scary that a single cough here can lead to an outbreak of epic proportions. In order to prevent that, the government has instituted measures to keep Kenyans safe.
The facility has all the equipments you need, from handling a basic patient up to ICU setting.
However, you also have a role to play in preventing spread of infections.
Citizen responsibility is the key to the success of this initiative and these measures. Let's all do what we have to do individually. And this is how we are going to defeat this disease.
It's just our general hygiene, okay? And that now means at workplaces, we should ensure that our work surfaces are clean.
Well, let's ensure that nimefanya proper sanitation ya mikono. Every time na board matatu, lazima ni sanitize mikono.
We have faced many severe challenges as a nation, and we have always found a way to rise above them. COVID-19 is no different, and we will overcome the pandemic. Stop coronavirus. Follow all directives from the Ministry of Health. Wash your hands properly.
Welcome to the exciting world of M-Truck Solutions, your trusted provider for bulk SMSs. We also offer API integrations for all your communication and payment needs. We also provide you with tailor-made payment getaway solution to receive and disperse cash quickly, affordable and securely. Let us expand your reach and connectivity on USSD, SMS and voice today. Call us on 0723 030 030 or email hello@mtruck.limited.co.ke. For more details, visit our website www.mtrucklimited.co.ke.
Hey, Sospita tumefutwa wote.
Yawa, pia wewe?
Tumeachiliwa.
Si pia wewe unaweza anzisha biashara yako?
Na hii economy venye iko tough sana.
But not too tough for Mwananchi Credit.
Tutafanya aje?
Si niko na 5 good cars. We can get a quick logbook loan approved within 6 hours.
Nataka kuanzisha salon na spa. Hii haitatosa.
Si tuko na title deeds pay. We can still get more money using them. Get a quick approval within 6 hours using your logbook or title deed. Do not get stuck. Call Mwananchi Credit today. Si nilikuambia.
You are a big smart joke.
Mwananchi Credit. Investor in people.
The coronavirus is spreading rapidly across the world, and currently there is no cure or vaccine against it. It spreads through tiny droplets when infected people speak, cough, or sneeze. These droplets can land on surfaces to be picked up by hands and are impossible to see with the naked eye. But just because you can't see them doesn't mean that they are not there. And you may get infected if you touch your face, nose, mouth, or eyes. To help stop the spread of the virus, we all need to do the 5. 1. Follow these steps to wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 40 seconds. 2. Cover your mouth with your bent elbow whenever you cough or sneeze. 3. Avoid touching your face. 4. Avoid crowded places. Keep a safe distance from other people. 5. Stay home if you can, especially if you have any of the symptoms. For more information, visit www.who.int.
Kila baada ya miaka 5 tunawachagua. Kwa kazi zao za ofisini tunawafahamu. Lakini je, unajua maisha yao zaidi ya ofisi?
Naomba Mungu kwamba ndio kabla hajaniokoa nikuwe bishop, anipatie mpaka ile kipawa ile ya kuona ile ya ukweli. Si ile vitu ambayo kinang'anga wanafanya hapa ya ukora.
Milima na mabonde tutavuka. Kaunti zote 47 na ikibidi nje ya nchi tutafika. Ili mradi kuhakikisha kuwa umewafahamu.
Ile ningetaka kusema ni kwamba that vile tumelelewa tukiwa ndani ya biashara. Kwa hivyo biashara ilikuwa ndani yangu. Hii maneno ya kuandikwa ilikuwa tu formality kidogo upate laini.
Wale waliopo na wale waliokuwepo wote kwa mpigo tutawapata. Nitabisha, wakifungua nitaingia, kisha nitakupeleka kwa utaratibu katika safari yao ya maisha.
Kumbusha nioe 1992.
Nani alikukumbusha?
Ni mama alikuwa anatukasia sana, anasema lazima vijana muoe.
Hayo yote utayapokea katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, nami Elizabeth Mutiku, kila siku ya Jumatano saa 2 kamili.
Welcome back. You are watching New Week. Now, as further investigations continue to establish how the novel coronavirus was transferred from animals to human beings, the World Health Organization says that the samples from Wuhan market might help to establish how the virus mutated and infected humans. Lexi Kimani with the details.
According to the World Health Organization, Huanan Seafood Market in the central Chinese city of Wuhan played a role in the outbreak of the novel coronavirus last year as the source or possibly as an amplifying setting. Chinese authorities shut down the market in January as part of efforts to halt the spread of the virus and ordered a temporary ban on trade and consumption of wildlife meat. In his briefing, a WHO expert on food safety and viruses, Peter Ben, said that although it's still not clear whether live animals or infected vendors may have brought the virus into the market is still subject to further investigation through the samples taken to understand how the virus mutates.
All these preliminary studies and interviews and collection of data and so on will help pinpoint both in time and in geographic term where to look for the source. And it could be, again in this case, it could be again around the markets in Wuhan, but it could be also outside or further out.
U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, for some time now, he has been casting a blame on China, claiming that there is a significant amount of evidence that the virus came from a Wuhan lab. German intelligence, in one of its reports that's published in Der Spiegel, casts doubts on Pompeo's allegation, saying, and I quote, "No public evidence has linked the outbreak to the lab in Wuhan." Elsewhere, the United Nations has said that the outbreak of the virus has unleashed a tsunami of hatred and xenophobia, scapegoating and scaremongering, and is now calling on people to stop discriminating each other. In his speech, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, said that the virus can affect anyone despite of their financial or social status.
Migrants and refugees have been vilified as a source of the virus and then denied access to medical treatment. With older persons among the most vulnerable, contemptible memes have emerged suggesting they are also the most expendable. And journalists, whistleblowers, health professionals, aid workers and human rights defenders are being targeted simply for doing their jobs.
The UN boss has asked everyone to stand up against hate and use every opportunity to spread kindness. Lexi Kimani, TV47.
Thank you, Lexi Kimani. Moving on. Kalonzo Musyoka's Wiper Party is now considering a post-election pact with the ruling Jubilee Party. This revelation comes just days after Jubilee Party entered into a post-election coalition with KANU. And as Andrin Kilemi now reports, a coalition between Wiper and Jubilee could open up unprecedented political front at a time when Jubilee Party leader Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy, William Ruto, are growing further apart.
Whether it is a 2020 political game plan or a power play at Jubilee, recent moves to seek coalition pacts with opposition parties has thrown many into a spin. Kalonzo Musyoka's Wiper Democratic Party has confirmed that talks of a coalition pact with Jubilee are now at an advanced stage. The revelation by Wiper Secretary General Judith Achieng comes just days after KANU entered into a post-election coalition with the ruling party.
So once you have mergers, it's inevitable because the Political Parties Act allows that.
Yeah.
We can do pre-election, post-election. So we are open to going that direction, you see. We have no problem.
And
but the NEC has not sanctioned. You know me, I talk with things which we have agreed and chosen the name. We met recently, as usual, and we all agreed as a NEC, we passed a resolution that we are open to coalition.
According to Judith Achieng, the decision to enter into a political arrangement with Jubilee is not a party's leader's decision, but that of the entire membership of the party.
Our party is a very democratic political party. We run through all the processes together, and we consult widely. So whatever decision that is made, and when we announce anything, believe you me, it's not only from all the party leadership, but it will be also something approved by our supporters.
In the process of political realignments and setting the ball rolling ahead of 2022, some people fear that their political careers could be at risk. Kipchumba Murkomen, just moments after being replaced by Samuel Pogisio of KANU as the Senate Majority Leader, has confirmed that he had no clue about the coalition pact between Jubilee and KANU.
We must appoint a coalition negotiation committee. I sit in the NEC with Senator Susan Kihika, and we've never met for the last 3 years. No meeting took place to pass a resolution to have a coalition agreement with the KANU party. And therefore, the purported argument that KANU would have participated within the precincts of the law, and particularly the Standing Order 19, in voting us out, or a KANU member being voted to be a leader in Jubilee, that is preposterous.
The emerging political realignments could also shake up the BBI process that is largely seen as a political vehicle for President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga has constantly denied allegations that he is engineering divisions in the ruling party. Andrin Kilemi for TV47.
Indeed, it's time for political courtship, if anything to go by the political happenings is concerned. Andrin Kilemi, thank you for that report. That brings us to the end of tonight's edition of New Week I am Abubakar Abdullahi on behalf of the entire team that made this production possible. Bye for now. Have a lovely evening.